Good day all, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with Mr. Retro Collect for my very first collab. From family man, businessman to YouTuber.
Lekker, brother. It's a pleasure to have you, man. And how's it, guys?
So you guys must probably click on this video because he's got a very interesting collection. So
Dude, I've got a retro gaming collection. So I collect anything from the Atari, Commodores, and figurines and whatever, anything retro gaming related.
So why did you start collecting?
Dude, my main focus for collecting retro stuff was when I was younger. We could never afford gaming consoles, so we used to play this Chinese knockoffs and stuff. So that's basically the main reason that So as I grew older and I could afford buying a PlayStation 3 and 4, and I just decided to collect everything that I couldn't have when I was a kid, basically.
Cool, and how big is your collection?
I would say it's big, but I've seen bigger. I follow a lot of other YouTubers as well, with massive collections especially from America. But I would say in SA, in total numbers of items, I don't know, man, thousands of stuff. But yeah, it's ranging from games and consoles and figurines and so it's.
Do you know the value of your collection?
Putting a value on retro stuff is quite, I would say, difficult. You can go on like eBay and stuff and go like check your stuff out, but I don't know, man. Some people would say 200,000, other people would say 10,000. I think it's personal. I think it's more sentimental value. I would say it's more sentimental value, man.
What is your most treasured item in your collection?
That's difficult. I think I would say the one that I love the most will be my Atari 2600. Which I found. It's a console from the 1970s, 1978. So it's quite old and it's a beautiful condition, and I have a boxed edition. So I would say, I don't know value, but like the most treasured or loved item will be the Atari 2600.
So is that now your oldest item, or
I think
what's your oldest
I
item?
have three oldish consoles. Is the Intellivision, the Commodore 64, and the Atari. And they're all from one era. I would say middle 70s up to middle 80s, 1980s. So it's already about 50 years old plus, those three. So those are
Nice.
quite the older ones I have, yeah.
So at what point did you start to realize you're actually starting to collect? Because I take it from my side. If I go from a PlayStation 1, I sell that PlayStation 1, go to the 2.
To upgrade.
And I upgrade the whole time. So at what point did it start to become a collection?
I think in the time we're living in today, everything is digital, right? So it's like physical copies of games and stuff is gonna like die out within the next couple of years. So that's why I like to keep the physical stuff, because if you take the PS4 today, like on the PS4 and even the PS5, they even launched a digital only console, and it doesn't even have a disc tray. So you won't be able to buy games in the next 5 years. So that's why I started saying, you know what, let me rather keep the physical discs, because the nostalgia I have going. I'll give you a sample. The Atari 2600 games comes in a cardboard box, and in this box is like a book and a cartridge, and they just don't make it like that today. Everything is basically credit card details, click, buy.
And log in and on the internet
Steam,
and everything.
Everything is like digital. So I think the physical stuff is gonna die out in the next couple of years, man.
So what was the first item that you would say you collected?
I actually thought about this question, and I do not know, man. I've been collecting for 10 years now. So I started about 10 years ago collecting retro games, and I think I stumbled upon a box of PS1 games or big box PC games, and I think that fueled my collection. And So it's either I started with PlayStation 1 games because I grew up with the PS1, or it was those big box PC games. You see, I've got a business called Boland Pickers. So we buy out house contents, people that move and leave the country and stuff. So like we go in and we just buy everything. And that's the best finds. You find it naturally in somebody's house. Older people that keeps their kids' stuff in the basement somewhere, box of games, and then we just make an offer and buy everything.
So actually, what you're basically saying is, you actually more started with work-wise. You started actually
I
to
would
become
say
hobby.
definitely because we buy other people's stuff on a daily basis. So I wouldn't say every house has games, but I go to houses and then like I'm like a kid, man. When I spot
But almost like for my eyes, I'm just gonna say it's like it's an old thing or
definitely. I was on auction last week and there's two Golden China's 8-bit consoles. And I was walking through the auction and I saw two boxes. But you can see the boxes are old, man. And I was literally like a small kid around those boxes. Because I told the guy, I need to buy this because I need this in my collection. So I have an eye, I can spot it already. But I also learn a lot. Because when I started out collecting, I was literally, I didn't even know there was a console like the Intellivision or the Commodore. There's millions of, I don't say millions, but there's thousands of different consoles. I think because we live in South Africa, not a lot of those like released here. I think if you go to America, it will be full up.
okay. And have you ever traded with a other collector?
I have a couple of guys that I swap stuff or they buy from me, but I've stopped selling my stuff now. So what I'll do is I've got a friend, Mr. ATG. He's also into collecting, and so if I get doubles, so if I find duplicate stuff,
Okay, then you guys share.
yeah, and I'll share and I'll pass it on to him, and yeah.
We just spoke about finding stuff at auctions and homes and all those type of places. Is there an item where you almost like
Yeah,
got chosen, like in a small boy?
definitely. So my Atari 2600, I actually found it in Paul. So, and it was laying on a pallet full of old computers next to the dustbin. So the uncle was literally throwing it away. And we made an offer on the furniture because that's what I actually do, furniture and stuff. And my eyes spot this Atari logo on the box. And I literally, like, that was 5 minutes away from being dumped.
So is the Atari your favorite console? Or what's your favorite?
No. I would say the Atari 2600 is my favorite old console. But my all-time favorite is the PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I grew up with it, so I've got a lot of memories, childhood memories and nostalgia for that specific console.
I've watched one of your YouTube videos, and we were talking also now about the cartridges and so on.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the reproduction consoles?
If it's a reproduction from the actual people like Nintendo or PlayStation, I would say it's worth collecting. I've actually got the reproduction Sega and the Nintendo NES and the PlayStation Classic, but you get like loads of Chinese copies, like knockoffs. But that is like what they put on a box is not what you get inside. So that is like totally.
These reproduction cartridges, does it
Yeah.
affect your value of your collection or not really?
No, I wouldn't say it affects the value of. I think it's worth collecting though, but only the big companies like Nintendo, PlayStation. If you take the PlayStation Classic, it's a remake of a reproduction of the original PS1, but it's basically the size of a cell phone, and it's got preloaded games on. It's my personal opinion. It's super shit. I don't like it, but it's worth collecting. Because they only made a certain amount and then they stopped production. So it's gonna become collectable.
Collectible.
So it's worth it grabbing one because I paid 900 Rand on online when it released. And I see people selling it on Marketplace for like 3,000 already because they discontinued it. So definitely I would say reproduction, it's not as good as the old one, but it's worth having in your collection. Yes.
But the biggest thing that I like about it, they put in a save function in some of them.
That is the thing, and even on the NES, the Nintendo, that's basically, we call it TV games, and that was the biggest problem years ago. You would play a game and you couldn't save, but now they've put in a save function, and you can actually play Ice Climber until level 5 and save and play tomorrow again, and that's very cool.
As a collector, you're also facing another big problem, because most of these games, like you said earlier, is downloading from internet and so on. So in the future, how's your collection gonna, have you thought about it? Because at the moment you're collecting physical copies of games and all those type of sort of things, but in the future, in 20 years time,
I understand that question, and the thing is, with everything going digital, so for me starting collecting physical stuff, I personally think it will be a problem. I wouldn't say it would be a problem, but I personally think that everything going digital will pump up the value of anything physical in 20 years time. So if you take, in 20 years time, you have a PlayStation 1 game, right? Say Croc or Spyro. You will, I personally think it must be in a museum, because the world's going digital. If you check YouTube, Spotify, Steam, Epic Games, everything is completely digital. So I hear what you say, there won't be stuff to collect anymore, but that just makes it, that pushes me to find more old stuff now.
So basically you push more to get now the old stuff,
The older stuff. To keep it.
To keep, so that
Definitely.
one day...
So one day when the whole world's digital, and because I take it, my kid is 7, 8 years old now. He doesn't even know what a PlayStation 1 game is. He's got a Nintendo Switch, and they go to the store and he says, "Daddy, buy this for me." And I must buy it online. So he doesn't know the feeling of a disc or a cartridge.
And blowing out the cartridges to get it to work. And
exactly. So just imagine in 20 years time, the next generation, they wouldn't even know like 8-bit games. It's going to be obsolete.
They're going to be more stressed when they forget the password.
Definitely. Of all your accounts, or the 100 gig updates every second day.
So as gaming evolves, what do you hate? Because just like you said, those 100 gig updates.
Oof.
Let's not go even with Warzone.
Oh.
Every time when you log in, it's like, how big is my update gonna be?
Definitely.
50 gig and so on. So other than that, what do you hate about where the trends is going with gaming?
I would say today's the big games, I think, is like Call of Duty and Fortnite, and it's very competitive gaming, like online multiplayer, full on. I think there is people that plays games, but if you go back to the 90s and coming home from school, popping in Tony Hawk Pro Skater in your PlayStation 1, you and your friend, controllers playing it. So if you compare that to today, I wouldn't say I hate it, but gaming isn't, for me, it isn't like it was. It's either online or
yeah, it's
not.
either online or you just play. Because living in South Africa with a high data charges
and a slow
internet and all those type of things, it actually, some people gets neglected because they don't get included into it, especially the lower income and
definitely
those
because
people.
Even in South Africa at the moment, the area you stay in, like I don't even have fiber, so I want to like stream games on Twitch and stuff, and the area doesn't allow you to have fiber, but certain places has fiber, and now you're stuck with like this old ADSL line for like the same amount of money you could have paid for fiber.
Yeah, and then you get like a 200 ping, and now with all the games that's online,
definitely,
then other people's got the advantage
a
of you.
Big advantage, man.
And at the end of the day, then it spoils the gaming for you.
And not only the ping, waking up and having a 100 gig update. So that, or immediately you know, okay, for the next 4 days I'm not going to play a game. You can't watch Netflix, you can't do anything. Like the internet is so bottlenecked, and it also, as you say, 2-3 days, and then you can play again. And it's just 2 days later, and you get another 10 gig or a 20 gig update. So yeah, I would say updates of new games. That's
What do you hope the most to remember about collecting?
okay. I would say remembering about collecting will be, my main goal will be keeping this stuff, collecting it for generations to come.
Is that kind of the reason why you started
I
your
think
YouTube
that is,
channel?
yeah, we started like a retro gaming podcast on YouTube, and that was I was looking for a way, because I've got cupboards full of stuff locked, right? So I was looking for a way to share the collection with the world. And so I started dabbling in content creation and stuff, and it's actually a cool way to showcase your stuff or your collection or whatever to people all over the world.
Have gaming ever taken you from a bad spot in your life? Or that you were down, that gaming positively contributed in helping you in a way?
I would say yes. Gaming. How can I put this now? I've met a lot of friends through gaming, so I think that's a positive thing of meeting new friends that influence on your life. The positive thing about gaming was meeting new people, and that is great because you network, and so you learn, and even if you're down or you're struggling with something, then you can always have the courage to talk to other people, and even online.
And also like a kind of a distraction.
Definitely, and that's the reason I play games. Is like if I had a long day, come home, pop open my Rocket League or Call of Duty, and
And just
for
mess around.
that hour or 2 hours, put my headphones on and just escape from the world and just play.
But any case, guys, that will be the last question. Maybe if you got more questions, maybe for a part 2, drop down in the comments questions, and then maybe we can have a part 2.
Definitely, man. Let us know what you guys think about the video, and give it a thumbs up, guys. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down or comment. Tell us why you don't like it, and click that subscribe button, man.
Yeah, I'm also gonna link his channel at the bottom. And also another thing, I checked 99% of you guys watching my videos is not subscribed. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, like I said, maybe consider. But
Subscribe, guys.
thank you for watching.